Manchester City are back in action today against Crystal Palace. I want to see because this match was postponed. Now this match was actually postponed, so I want to see what can actually happen between Manchester City and the Crystal Palace. I know the points right now is a big difference because after Manchester City draw point with Everton, Arsenal points skyrocket. I think it's skyrocket. I wanted to see if West Ham can be able to draw game because in the first half against Arsenal they actually they draw game in the first half. In the second half, blah blah. Before you know, one goal get in. Arsenal used that one goal now to receive 3 points against West Ham, and it was a very massive, a huge win for them. That one goal means a lot to Arsenal against West Ham because it skyrockets their points. Now, Manchester City is going to play against Crystal Palace. If Manchester City I know Crystal Palace in the beginning of the season, Crystal Palace were very good. Well, like they dominate. In fact, especially against Liverpool, they actually dominate a lot. But you see this game particularly, Manchester City. At this stage of Manchester City, I don't think Manchester City will just want to, draw against or lose a match. It's not going to be that easy. So I'm seeing Manchester City beating Crystal Palace in this game. Honestly, I'm seeing Manchester City beating Crystal Palace in this game. I know Pep is going to step up in this game. Not like he's not going to make that same mistake he made against Everton because you know what it cost him to be at the top of the table and then later bring him down because he said I can be happy if Pep said I can be happy if we end the season with second position. Maybe that is where we should be. But we'll see when the season is going to end, how the season is going to end. And that is what we are looking for. The problem right now is what will you offer? What can you offer in this game? What can Manchester City offer in this game? Because I always tell you that is what happened against Arsenal against Arsenal with West Ham. I always tell you that any team that is down, like especially in the relegation zone, will always want to pull the person on top down so that it can step up. That is what actually happens. You can see in the match against West Ham, against Arsenal. Look at how West Ham really step up. West Ham that is in the relegation zone. Look at how they step up. They really step up in that game against Arsenal. If not that their silly mistake that went allowed them to Arsenal to score them one goal. If not, that game would have been draw, and it would have been a huge advantage for Manchester City. But now they lost the game to Arsenal, and now Crystal Palace are going to play against Manchester City. So Crystal Palace is going to put in everything they have, the pressure. If they can fight against the highline of Manchester of Pep Guardiola, it's going to be a very big one for them, a very big winning. To beat them is going to be it's going to be a little troublesome. But the fact still remains that Manchester City will not go into this game and lost it. So let me know what you think about it and your prediction in the comment section. Hala Madrid forever.